We're revisiting the clamshell design for the Arduino, and I've opened it up here in 3DEXPERIENCE with Product Finder, and I'm just going to take a look at kind of what's happened. So initially, I downloaded this Arduino assembly, the electronic board from GrabCAD, and I started experimenting with xDesign. You can see this part I've labeled my first part, which I think it's time to change that name to make it a little bit more appropriate. So I'm just looking at the properties directly here, and then I'll just change the name to be like clamshell bottom box or top, yeah, bottom box. Okay, and then we'll save that change, close it. Okay, so that name has been changed, and if I do a refresh here a couple times, we'll see that name gets updated. Okay, so after a minute or so, I did a refresh and I can see now the name's updated. And so we have this part that was made in xDesign, and this part was made in SOLIDWORKS. And what I'm ready to do now is, well, I sent parts out to be 3D printed, and I made some changes based on some design input I got from the 3D printer. So let's check out what those are. One way I can do that, I did some markups. So I want to take a look at what was marked up. And to do that, I'm going to check the links. So there's a link for each one of the markups that I've done with the component that was marked up on. So to navigate to the link, we're just going to go down to the relations. Okay, so we have the assembly, and then link to the assembly. There's 3 children. And we can see we got the clamshell top, we've got the clamshell bottom in the assembly. Can expand this out again to see what are some of the parents, and we see there's this markup. And in the markup, I can see, I modified this draft angle here. I indicated that by the green circles, indicating that I made a change there and the affected areas in the plan view. In the next markup, you'll see a little more detail as far as dimensions and things like that, but it's just to give an idea of how you can take advantage of this and how it's connected to the geometry directly. So let's take a look at the bottom. In this 3D markup, what I learned about this is that when the 3D printer is going to print this item, they're going to print it on edge like this, and then their suggestion is that I orientate these slots in the vertical direction. So they were previously horizontal on these 2 bosses, and now I've changed them to be vertical. And just to document that, I added these notes here in my 3D markup. So both of these were good, and then I wanted to rotate those notches, and I also just indicated that this is the orientation the part will be in when it's 3D printed.